Hello, YouTubers. Welcome to our channel, Unmasked. Unmasked is a channel that we decided to put together to help unmask things. And also, we thought it was a good name to go along with COVID-19 stuff because we are people who don't want to wear masks. We're these crazy right wingers, I guess. The other guy you'll be seeing here with me, we're going to do shows by ourselves and shows together. Uh, his name is Ryan. Ryan has been into politics here for 4 or 5 years real hard. He's a big, huge Trump supporter. I define myself more as a fiscal conservative, and I think both of us are trying to help people become aware of what's going on in DC and in the world. Obviously, we don't have all the answers, but we're searching for the truth. And the best thing we can do is to start being more outspoken because we've been hushed by the cancer culture and the PC awareness people, the PC culture, and we want to go back to where we can say what's on our mind and how we feel and not be chastised for it. This is America and everybody has a right to their own opinion, and this is not a country where we want to play mind police. So I think the left has been really pushing to get rid of free speech. I don't think that we really here believe that in any hate speech, anything that's mean towards somebody is bad, but we want people to be able to say what's on their mind. And I think that's a good thing because at the end of the day, you want to know where people stand. You want to know if they like you or don't like it, and the First Amendment allows people to get those red flags and see where they stand. So we need to start having conversations. But that's a little bit about what we're trying to do. And we'll talk about that more in other videos, and especially when Ryan's here. But I wanted to put together a video here. It's basically several different people here who have decided to join the walkaway movement, and we got all types of people here, and it looks like they've a lot of them have just recently made this decision. I try to find people that didn't have a lot of subscribers, and maybe you guys can go down in the link and go to their page and at least give them some support. Let them know that people are there for them and that they're welcome. When they leave the Democrat Party, I don't necessarily think that they're jumping to the Republican Party, but at least they're realizing that the stuff they're being fed is not been honest. And it starts a lot with these kids and us when we went to school, and you get around people and they start pushing ideas, and you're real susceptible at a young age. And then when you're going to college, we all know what's going on there. That's all ran by leftists and socialists and Marxists, and so these kids get all kinds of ideas and then become adults, and but some of them have decided to think for themselves and try to figure things out and do a little research. And when that happens, man, you realize, if you've been watching some of these channels, a lot of about anything on TV, just about, you're getting something that's pretty biased. And we need to raise awareness and stop being silent. I know there's a term silent majority going around, but let's get rid of that silence. Let's not worry about PC culture and cancel culture and stand up for yourselves. So that's what we want to do, and that's what these people are doing right here. So I'm going to let it play. There's some things that uh, maybe people don't want to hear. This is not a kids channel. Some of these people might say a few cuss words, but they seem all new, and I got a wide variety of people here, a wide variety. Um, let's see what they got to hear here. Let's get to the first one, and I'm gonna play it through, and I might play all of them. I mean, I might play every minute of all of them, and some of them I might not. It just depends on how long they are. But the first person we have here is FX Vegan. His channel is FX Vegan, and I'll have everybody's URLs or links in the description down here. And please excuse me, we're kind of new to this, and might be a couple places where I need to figure out what I'm doing. So let's get right into it here with the first one. And let's see here. Okay. Like I said, this is FX Vegan, and he's going to tell us his walkaway story.
Hi everyone who's going to watch this video. In this video I want to give a quick message of how I came to support Trump and a message of hope. So, growing up as a kid, I didn't really talk about politics that much at all. The first experience I ever had was when Barack Obama was running for president, and I was about 8 or 9 years old. Asked my mother what she thought about Obama, and she said that he was a wolf in sheep's clothing. I thought it was very profound, but I didn't really understand what it meant at the time, so I was
Smart
a bit
lady.
confused as to what she meant. But later on, coming to now, and even before now, I figured out what she meant by that. And the next experience I had with politics was around 2013, 2014, when I was a bit older. I found out about something called the deep state, and I figured out how they control the pharmaceutical industry with medications, with pollution, geoengineering, how they
Starting
control
to read
weather,
on his own,
and how they control the agricultural industry. So basically, they control every form of production on the world. And ultimately, I think they have about 80 to 90% of total world control already, which is alarming to say the least. After I figured all that out, I became quite apathetic to politics because I figured out that really, if you vote for both sides of the coin, they ultimately result in the same outcome.
And I feel he's right there. We have to admit that both parties, especially at the DC level, at the federal level, they've been in bed together for years now. Years now. There's a very few out there that have your best interest, that look out for their constituents. There so many of them are bought and paid, which I think is changing a little bit right now. There are a few that seem to be fighting for us. I'm not for sure if they're just trying to jump on board with the deep state getting exposed, or if they really have our back. But he's absolutely right here. I feel the same way.
So it doesn't really matter what side you voted for. Until, and then later on, about 2015, I joined a vegan group. And even before I joined the vegan group, I
Sounds
became
like a
vegan
liberal.
because I had some health
That's
issues.
not true.
So
Always.
after I adopted a vegan diet, I managed to heal the health issues that I had.
Well, that's good.
And after I joined the vegan group, I didn't really notice that much different. You know, the people were very nice. I was very happy. I had lots of friends. And I didn't really know what people with a liberal mindset behaved like. You know, because I didn't really know what people really believed in as a liberal or a conservative, even though most of my family was conservative and Catholic. You know, it's not like I really discussed politics that much. And then I think it was around when the time that Trump began to run that, you know, they would say awful things about the guy. I was very in the middle. You know, I didn't really have a opinion about him until one day when the co-founder of the group, he was saying all these awful things. So I countered and said I disagree, and I told him that Trump is not a sexist because in the 80s he hired one of his first managers for his construction sites was a woman, and she might have been a woman.
And this guy knows this because he's dug a little deeper. He just didn't go by what the CNN or MSNBC anchor person told him to think, like the person that he's discussing this with right now.
Color, but I don't remember to be exact. But anyway, he wasn't a sexist, is what I told him. And he didn't really fight back, but I could tell he was a little bit angry with me. And I could tell that he wanted to yell back, you know, but it was in a restaurant, it was in a public space, so
Yeah, he
fair
wanted
enough.
to yell at you.
And then later on, when I was starting to support Trump, he got angry, and then, you know, I had lots of hate from other friends as well online. But I mean,
So what
that's
happens
okay.
when you walk
When
away?
you support someone, you know, there's going to be some hate from some people. And then ultimately, I didn't really support Trump in the beginning. I thought he was a egomaniac, and I thought he was a little bit of a narcissist, to be honest. And later on, I think after he won the primaries, I started to notice how everyone of authority in the political establishment, media, people online would just say terrible things.
And that should be the telltale right there. When all the politicians hate you and all the media hates you, you know, that guy might be on our side. Because I think Donald Trump is an egomaniac. I do. But uh, right now, maybe that's what we need. At the end of the day, he's exposing more of the corruption than any other politician has. So, you got to at least give him credit for that.
Attack him, and not just attack him, but it was like a constant stream of attacks. I think the story ratio on the news is like 75 negative stories to one positive story or neutral story, which is not
Sounds
an
about
attack,
right.
it's an onslaught. It's a pure onslaught to ruin a guy's life and maintain power for the global ruling elites and not for the people. And that's the biggest problem.
That's right.
So, you know, you guys, us people, we're the elites because we can choose who we vote for and not be fooled by these people who are telling us what to think and what to do and what to behave.
And he's right, but that the voting doesn't always work. When the person you vote in is not representing you we got to stop being silent. Basically, we got to start calling and demanding that they listen and stick to the Constitution and do their jobs and realize that they are not leaders, they are representatives, and they need to represent us. And that doesn't always mean represent the mob, but you got to do what's right and you got to put the country first. So, but we do got to get rid of the turds. We do. We got to get them out of office.
You know, everything is ruining the minds of the youth. The school, the media, everything is telling you what to believe and what to say and what to do. And there now we have two sides, the liberals and the conservatives. And the liberals especially, they don't notice this. They think they're doing a good thing by playing identity politics, but it's really a bad thing because
they know what they're
they
doing.
are fundamentally breaking America through. The people don't know this, but the politicians, the ruling class, they cannot be this stupid. They know what they're doing. They want to ruin America so much to the point.
I do think some of them are that stupid, though. I'll throw one under the bus right now, DeWine. I don't necessarily know that he's really crooked yet. What he could be. I just think he's really dumb. So there's some that are just there that are just there, and I'm not for sure that they're planning any of this because. But he's right. These people know what they're doing. They're dividing us on purpose, and the more they divide us, the more unruly we are. They can come in. They can come in, and they're trying to turn this into totalitarian, and it's not too hard to find, or it's not too hard to see. I'm sorry.
Point where they're economically broken, morally and spiritually broken, so much to the point where they can never, ever, ever recover again. And identity politics is the worst thing you could ever support because all roads to hell are paved with good intentions, but ultimately they result in a dark, dark place. And us people, we are the elites because as I said again, we can choose who we vote for and not be fooled. When you vote for a candidate, you take away the vote for the other opponent.
Well, I'm gonna cut him off there. He's just got a little bit left, but go ahead and go to FX Vegan and give him a sub and maybe throw a comment down there and show him some support. And let me go back here. Let me see who the next person is. This gentleman right here is. Let's get his name. Let me find him here. Looks like Freddie Lovelady. Freddie Lovelady. And visit Freddie Lovelady's page. I'll have his link down in the description as well. And let's go ahead and bear with me here. I'm still trying to get good at this. This might be a while. So let's see what Freddie Lovelady says and why he walked away.
My camera messed up. I gotta get a new phone. My screen just broke. Horrible time to decide to make a video, but whatever.
And I think when I listen to this too, he's going to give us his opinion on the Black Lives Matter. I'm gonna say organization and not movement because I guess it's two separate things, even though all the money's going to well, we know where it's going.
So a 1-year-old, honestly, like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck is going on around these parts, bro? What is going on here? Come on, my nigga. Like, what is this? Niggas is like not. Oh my god, niggas killing kids cause y'all can't hit the parent. Y'all can't hit the adult. You can't hit the bigger person. That
I don't know if he's talking about a child being murdered in, I think, Chicago. I think maybe it was Atlanta, but I think Chicago. I know Chicago's been wild. They've been on online. They're calling it Chirac.
that's crazy to me. How y'all hitting kids but y'all can't hit the parent? I'm not saying that y'all should. Y'all shouldn't mean. Oh my god, you niggas shouldn't even be shooting. But goddamn, y'all hitting the kids? Not even like 10-year-old kids. Kids that's in. Oh my god, man. Come on. How the fuck do you shoot a 3-year-old in the back? And how do you shoot a 1-year-old in the front, in the car seat?
Yeah, I think he's talking about the incidents in Chicago, and those are the last 2 week. That was 3 weekends ago, 2 weekends ago, and this last weekend, I believe a 7-year-old was killed in Chicago.
How do you hit. Bro, I don't understand. Like, I. I do. I honestly do understand why people question Black Lives Matter. I do. I do. I do. Like, not even at this point. While ago. While ago. I understand why people ask the fucking question. My camera's messed up and I don't like it, but god damn it, look. What the fuck? You got on Father's Day, what was it, weekend? So what was it, Friday afternoon to Sunday night or whatever? You got 104 people shot, or over 100 people shot. 14 people died? Bro, uh, 2019, 9 unarmed black people got killed.
Now he does say that, and I don't think there's many, but I do think we got to understand that over the last 20 to 30 years, and nobody getting killed unjustly is a good thing, but the numbers have drastically have dropped, and I think people are looking for utopia, and it's going to be hard to do because he's talking about these incidents right now, and a lot of it's because the police have backed off. I mean, it's a tough time to be an officer right now because you've been trained a certain way, and it seems like they are uh, now arresting people for doing what they were trained to do. And maybe there's something wrong with the training. But when you train somebody to go do something and they go out in the streets, and like the incident in Atlanta, and he's facing a murder charge, cops are going to back off. They're not going to continue to be proactive.
By the police. The whole 365. Not 366, it's not a leap year. Whole 365. 9. Uh, in, what was it, 2 days? One area. This specific area. The same, one of the same areas. 2 days. 14 people dead. I don't think they was all black. I think I seen a couple Hispanic names up in there somewhere. Little Mexican names, something. I think I seen a couple. But god fucking damn. A 1-year-old? I get it. I get why niggas ask, do black lives really matter? Because when y'all say black lives, look, I agree with the initial Black Lives Matter. The original, the old.
Well, and he's going to say he agrees, but I don't think he realizes that Black Lives Matter has always been a Marxist movement. Um, we're going to do a video on BLM here in a little bit when I get my partner Ryan here, and we're going to discuss and show some old clips on exposing BLM, but man, it's nothing new. BLM started in Ferguson, and they've been robbing everybody since.
OG Black Lives Matter, right? Stop killing black people. Yes, I agree with that. This shit got political. Money got involved. Nigga, those are the two things that corrupt every fucking thing.
True.
This ain't just no statement anymore. This isn't just like a movement anymore. This is like this is something else. It's like political. It's like something else.
He's figuring it out.
So I agree with the initial Black Lives Matter. Yes, Black Lives Matter. Stop fucking killing them the way that y'all killing them. Yay! Niggas be fucking up though. Like all black lives ain't innocent. Okay? I'm sorry. I'm probably canceled for saying that. But the way that motherfuckers be saying Black Lives Matter, like the black lives don't be doing nothing. That they just be eating sandwiches on the curb and then here come the police. No, that's not happening. Okay? George Floyd was murdered. Everybody agreed with that. We seen the shit. We was like, that was bad. That's what the Black Lives Matter thing is right there. But that Rashard Brooke, like, I get it. They shouldn't have killed him. They shouldn't have shot him. I get it. Ugh. But we ain't gonna talk about what he did wrong. Alright, look. Because, look, you can't talk about dead people. I get it. You can't. So we just gonna not acknowledge. Anyways, look. I agree with Black Lives Matter. I really do. But when y'all grouping up with Antifa, that's where you lose me. When y'all doing stupid shit like saying we gonna burn everything down, that's where you lose the guy. You know? So, like, I agree that black lives should not be killed at the way that they are. I don't agree with some of the behavior that you guys are doing. That's it. Y'all think everything that y'all doing is cool and okay? Honestly? Come on. That's crazy.
This is how the walkaway starts too. You're like, what is going on here? What? I don't agree with that. And then you get chastised for saying you don't agree with it. And then eventually you realize that the movement you're in is kind of cultish. And he talks for a while, and I'm gonna play a little bit longer, but I'm not gonna play it all. But this is his enlightenment here on why he needs to walk away. And I'm glad he's realizing it. He's very emotional. A lot of people are emotional about all this stuff. They're watching the country kind of fall apart, and got a lot of people out here that are doing the research and figuring it out, and I'm glad to see.
These fucking peaceful protests. I call them riots. I call the people that are peacefully protesting. Well, I did back in the like couple months ago, like when it was really popping, like the week of the shit, initial shit.
Right.
I called everybody waiters. They weren't protesters. They was waiters. They was just waiting till the sun went down, and then they did. You know, the bricks come out at night. I made a music video about it. Me and my
Really? Because according to the mainstream media, that's not what happened, and that's why a lot of this walkaway is happening. I think in you're going to find in the inner cities is because they're seeing what's going on, and then they turn on the TV and it's something completely different. Well, they think that these people are stupid, and they're not. They're not. They have ways to find information now, and people are taking advantage of that.
uncle, up and coming. Listen to the music. You feel me? But anyways, yeah, like yo, the Black Lives, man, and look, like they showed two other. I didn't get. There's so many names that you have to remember when like this stuff goes down. There was that black kid. I think he was 19. He was coming from the store. Oh man, I want to get his name. I do want to get his name. Hold on, let me see. Yeah, the black kid that was coming from the store. You know, and they killed him too. Like the same way they killed him too. So like I'm like, yo, black people and the people in general do die by the police in fucked up circumstances. That does happen. But when you like, this is the word, when you cherry pick, when you just grab one story from 2 years ago, another story from 2 months ago, another story from 7 months ago, another and when you put them out every day, you make it seem like this shit happens every fucking day. And then you got the people that go, it do happen every day, we just don't see it. And then you can't really say nothing to those people because they're convinced that this shit happens every fucking day.
Right.
You just
They've
don't
been
see it.
raised
So it's like you can't really.
been raised with that victim mentality. And I mean, this is the greatest country in the world. No, it's not perfect, but go somewhere else and see how it goes there. But I'm gonna go on to the next one. I think that's enough of just showing where he's come to grips with what's going on, and he goes on and talks more and has some other videos. And like I said, it's Freddie Lovelady, and I'm gonna let's get Freddie Lovelady off of there and see who we're gonna. Oh, this is a good one. She's a young female who's seems pretty pissed off. Yeah, I'm gonna get her name here so I can give her some give her the credit. Uh, Ziren, Ziren, and I'll have her information down in the link. So let's go ahead and get Ziren going.
If I say all lives matter, I'm a racist. If I stand for my flag, I have to apologize for it. I'm not allowed to go to church, but I can burn churches to the ground. I'm not allowed to open my own business, but I can go loot and destroy other people's businesses. If I wear a badge, have a gun, and I'm dressed in blue, I'm a racist pig. But if I walk around destroying my city with bricks and masks, I'm considered a peaceful protester. I'm not allowed to peacefully protest the lockdown at my capital, but I can go destroy and graffiti my capital. I'm not allowed to go to the park to play t-ball.
You remember when people went and protested and how the media portrayed them? I mean, I think they were portrayed as hostile idiots.
With my family, but I can destroy the park. I'm not allowed to protect our historical monuments and history, but I can go tear them down and have them land on top of people. I'm not allowed to have an opinion on racial matters because I'm white, but if I don't have an opinion on it, I'm the reason why people are oppressed. I can go riot in the streets with the BLM, but if I go to a Trump rally, COVID-19 magically appears. Does anyone else not see the hypocrisy in all of this?
They even say the protesters didn't spread any or helped it or something. I can't remember. I read some crazy articles on that.
I am done with your bullshit.
And yeah, that was a quick one right there. She seems pretty mad. Let's get another walk away. And I tell you though, I should have really paid attention there because it seems like she's been a Trump supporter or a Republican or conservative for a while. Maybe that really wasn't a walk away, but that was a good clip. Now my next one here, I think let's get him up and started. This is Mike the Web Surfer, and Let's get him started here.
Alright guys, so let me get my hair cut. Not looking fresh. So anyways guys, I'm walking away. I'm walking away from the Democratic Party. I'm not gonna try to edit this video. So it might be a little all over the place, but I want it to be a little bit raw. So yeah, I'm walking away guys. It's a long time coming. I grew up in a household that was largely Democratic, liberal, and quote unquote, you know, and I grew up in a state that was quote unquote very liberal. I mean, it's a blue state. Let's just be straight up with that. But I think there comes a time in everybody's life where they really get to make a decision for themselves what they're gonna be about and who they're gonna be about, and do the research for yourselves and to see what is most important for you, what makes sense for the people you identify with, however you identify, and listening to a plethora of different ideas, and to break free from the conditioning that one idea is best for your people, race, your culture, and what idea really serves you and the greater American people. And
now I hear what he's saying here, because I think anytime that a group of people are only voting one way, you're going to get taken advantage of by the people you're voting for, because they know they got your vote. They don't have to earn it, and got to start making these people earn it.
Democracy, or not democracy per se, but the Democratic Party and the Liberal Party, I guess, whatever, synonymous with each other. They just don't support at least the modern version of the policies, and many people would say even before. They just don't support. They don't just support what is best for my community. They really don't. They don't support what's best for my community. They don't support, lower taxes, which I'm a big fan of lower taxes.
Me too.
I just don't understand why the state takes our money.
Me neither.
I'm a fan of privatization of many of the institutions that the state quote unquote runs. I think that more state equals bloatedness and inefficiency and waste of money. I would like to control where my money goes, so I don't see why we're being taxed so much. When it comes down,
that's one way to walk away right there, is to start watching how much you get taxed, what the government does with your money, what they don't do with it, and it's a hard pill to swallow. Makes people want to swallow the red pill.
to it, that's just a policy I don't like. I feel like there's too much social policing in the Democratic Party. There's no freedom to think differently. There's no freedom to disagree. If you disagree, you're canceled. And a part of me, I liked it because I felt like it protected people like me from harm, from being called nasty things, especially somebody that grew up in a largely white town, and I went to high school and was like, I'm not gonna lie and say I wasn't called a lot of nasty things. I wasn't treated a little differently. I wasn't expected less of, and that's all within a democratic state, by the way. All these people around me voting all Democrats.
Usually the ones yelling, I'm not racist, are the most racist people. Everybody on earth is racist. And when you can admit to that, you can work on your problem. But he's in those areas where they can't admit that they're not perfect, have that elitist mindset.
But they produce kids like that. But with that being said, yeah, like I grew up with that, so that idea of wanting to protect myself from that perspective that I had, it made sense. I didn't want to go to a hostile workplace. I wanted to make sure the other people that I care about in my communities were able to, live free in America and be protected. And I thought government that actually spoke to black issues or quote unquote people of color issues were the right thing. But as I began to really see what was going on, I began to take a look at Black Lives Matter recently even, and I'm beginning to see a lot of fakeness.
People researching BLM, I mean, that's going to be a guaranteed walk away. And you got celebrities and politicians supporting it. Once you get on that website and read what they're about, and then see where all the money that's been donated to them is gone, that's guaranteed walk away. Guaranteed.
For instance, like we all know, Black Lives Matter is largely supported by George Soros. We all know that a lot of the money you donate to that organization now goes to Democratic candidacies in the Democratic Party, the DNC in and of itself, to Bernie Sanders, and is literally just a way of promoting Marxism or socialism, and rather than actually putting that money into building programs, like millions of people from different backgrounds, while a lot who are black are putting that money in thinking that black people will be helped directly with that money. And in some cases, yeah, I think they're bailing people out, but like, are they really running or building any programs to help black people when that's all that pulled out money could literally be used to start black businesses?
How many of those people they bail out were they all black? I don't know. Maybe they are. I saw where the Minnesota Freedom Foundation had donated $200,000 to get people out, but I think they had received about $30 million, and I don't know if they've used any more of that money. And I'd like to know who they bailed out with. It wouldn't surprise me if it wasn't all the little white kids.
Or to encourage black people to invest their money. You literally encourage black people to invest their money, and the wealth of black people would go up. You could literally take all that money, start an investment firm, encourage black people to invest in a black investment firm, and boom, that money will shoot right up. And that black investment firm could.
Now you're talking about capitalism. And they can't have capitalism. They want to get rid of that shit. They bring in that socialism. None of us are going to have any damn thing. I'll tell you that right
literally
now.
Go and help black people start small businesses. But like stuff like that. Like I'm thinking something along those lines. But really it goes back into just helping Democrats be elected. Helping this socialist ideal come about. And when you learn the leader of Black Lives Matter is also a socialist, you're like, wait a minute, I don't stand for that. I stand for something else. So, and it's not even being talked about, and you're instantly shamed.
No, but we're going to talk about it.
If you even say that you disagree or have issues, or you want to talk about it, or you want to.
You can talk about it. You got to stop being scared of, like this gentleman right here is doing. You got to stop being scared of the PC police and the cancel culture. stop being silent, stand up, and if you're part of this, it's time to walk away.
You want to even like have conversations about the issue. You're just canceled. You're just like, oh, you're against everybody. When even you might not be against everybody, but you have a different opinion about what works.
Got a commercial. Might have to pay to get rid of the commercials.
No?
The ads.
So it just seems to me like there's a certain level of disingenuous behavior kind of happening with the Liberal Party and the Black Lives Matter, and you know, with me, even if it comes to like the protests, I don't know my mind going to protests, but like I'm seeing a lot of like people complain about like the protests and the rioting and the looting, and we all know those protests are largely peaceful. I actually like the protesting. I like what it stands for. So I do believe policing needs to be changed. I've seen there's a great YouTube channel called I think Audit.
But there's ways to make that change. And going out on the street and tearing shit up ain't it. Now, peaceful protest, that is a way. I guess it raises awareness, but man, basically you got to make your representatives accountable. You have to. We got to start demanding that they do the right thing and get experts in and try to figure out how to fix these situations. But I'm not even for sure if these type of protests really do anything either. But I do think that this is America and you have your right to peacefully assemble like it says in the Constitution.
The Audit or something along those lines, where they literally look at police interactions and give them grades. And in my opinion, police interactions suck. Police interactions, it's not even the murders, because people always focus on murder rates, but anecdotally and from my experience to what I've seen online, a vast majority of police interactions will be fine. However, for the importance of the job, too many police interactions suck. Or, you know, like 10%. Like if a doctor has a 10% kill rate.
Yeah, but the doctor doesn't have people cussing, yelling, and screaming at him, and you know, a lot of times these police officers have to deal with a lot of crap, and they're human. You know, how well do we handle situations? So I think people who want to see a big change, the only way to do that, I think, too, is join. You know, become a cop and change it within. Change it within, and I do think one of the Republican representatives wrote a police reform bill, and you know, I think people like this are seeing it because they do their research. And why wasn't that passed? And that's, you know, why so many people are walking away. And I'm going to. He's still got a long ways to talk, so I'm gonna cut him off. But he's giving a little insight on. You know, it looks like he's researched Black Lives Matter. And I don't know if that's the exact reason why he left, but that'll open the doorway for you to start running. You know, when you start hearing the leaders are Marxist and you get on their website and they want to get rid of the patriarchy, like I don't think I think getting rid of the patriarchy in the black community has crippled their community enough. So we need to get back to a little more family values, and there's nothing wrong with a male who's a man and a father. And let's get on to the next one. I'm rambling on. I believe this next person here is she is half white and half Japanese, I think, and she's another vegan. 777 Vegan is her YouTube channel, so I'll have her link down in the description, and go show her some support. Let's get this. Okay. Let's see what. And her name is Kimberly Still. 777 Vegan.
Hi everyone, my name is Kimberly, and I would like to talk about why I walked away. Number one is the elite progress narrative. I believe that it's the upper 20% of the economic class in the US that wants to maintain the liberal Democrat SJW narrative at all costs, and I believe that those people are honestly, as much as they're smart people, underneath it all, they're a bunch of snobs. And I think that their snobbery is what motivates them to have such terrible Trump derangement syndrome. I think that their class has spent a good 40 years exploiting the lower classes by not even knowing that they've been doing so. What has happened is, since 1980, when I was about 7 years old, what happened was that Republicans and Democrats both sold out the working class, offshored all of the good jobs. You know, if you remember back in the day, right around the 1980s, when clothing suddenly got really inexpensive, well, that was the offshoring of clothes manufacturing, and that
Jobs leaving the country. Well, we need those back. Bring them back.
that benefited the higher classes, and that was just one of a million things that really took the power away from the working class. You know, everything from automobiles to clothing, and even just every little thing in our lives that was manufactured kind of just went overseas to the lowest common denominator of whoever was willing to make it the most cheaply, and that really cut away most of our working class. Now, who benefits from that? That would be the upper 20%, the class that I was born into and that I fell out of in my 20s. And that's what I see, is that they're trying to maintain their power, even if they don't know they're trying to maintain that sort of power. That's what's going on.
Most of them don't know. They think they're helping people out. It's the white knight syndrome, where you got to have some white person come in and save the day. And no, you need to leave us alone and save yourself, white knight.
And that's the politicians they vote for. The second thing is bigotry. Bigotry against whites. Now, I myself, I'm half Japanese and half white, so I'm considered a person of color. That's a term I think is a racist term, because it means anyone who's not white. So what makes white people so special? And also, how can I be a person of color? And how can even, I'm half one and half the other. So, I don't even get to count in that weird thing. It's wrong to be bigoted against whites. It's wrong. It's just as wrong when people are bigoted against Asians or when they're bigoted against blacks. It's just, I've seen some of the most disgusting bigotry from white people against other white people, oddly enough, and what I've seen from black people doing to white people.
Well, and I can't remember everything she said, but every culture is bigoted, and it's just how it is. There's plenty of white people that don't like other cultures, and there's plenty of people that don't like white people, and so on and so on.
These days is vile. It's like, oh, it's okay for me to, it's okay for a black person to loot a store because they were oppressed back in, in 18.
Don't forget, that wasn't just black people looting. I think we all see how many of these looks like suburban and wealthy white kids are a part of Antifa and BLM. But it seems like when the mainstream media played all this out, it was just mostly locals looting. I think they tried to act like Antifa was fake for a little bit.
63, back or before the Civil War, that's okay. Suddenly, I don't buy it. I mean, my ancestors were literally, my great grandparents, like 3 of them went through the Japanese internment camps. Does that give me any reason to go like loot someone's store? I don't think so. So bigotry. And pandering. Pandering is disgusting. Hillary Clinton and her hot sauce comments, and that's an old one. But I mean, I think we see this a lot of pandering, like the white women on their knees.
If you don't vote for Joe Biden, you ain't black.
In front of just random people who claim to be with Black Lives Matter. Effectively who could be trolls. I don't. Yes. I find it disgusting. I will never get on my knees for another human being.
And I won't either. But I almost don't blame people. If you got these white dumbasses that want to get on their knees and kiss ass, take advantage of them. I mean, we're tired of this white knight crap, and take advantage of them. And you white knights, if you really do care, and you're just not trying to cover up for your racism, but if you do care, give your service to a black person for a whole year. That won't even make up for it, but be their slave for a whole year, or quit with the bullshit. Nobody's buying this crap, getting on your knees. Most of the time, you're racist and you're scared, and because of you're scared of black people. That's racist. Just treat people how you want to be treated, and quit going around kissing people's butt because they are not white. You look stupid.
I'd like to see them make me try it. Number 3, endless war to prop up empire. Where is the Democratic Party from the 1960s who fought against the Vietnam War? Where are they? Hello? The Democratic Party used to stand for something. Then. Nowadays, it just is in lockstep with surveillance and war and censorship. I think that the Democratic Party has just completely turned its back on all its former values and become hysterical. Fear-mongering. Speaking of hysteria, notice.
I don't think they ever had those values. I just think today we can find the truth, and when there's not very much media, it's a lot easier to control. Well, we got cameras now, and we got people that are in it just because they care and they're not worried about getting paid. And so you can find some truth out here when it's hard to do when you just were getting it from a few sources.
That COVID forced us all to take sides. There were the mask wearers, and there still are. There are the mask wearing Karens, and then there are the rest of us who just would like to, get our lives back.
Unmasked.
from Kavanaugh to COVID to the Kremlin, they're always paranoid about something. There's always something that they have to be paranoid about, like this week. And even though, rioters
Why aren't they paranoid about China? That's what I want to know.
are allowed to go steal from a store, you're not allowed to shop at that store because of it's their paranoid bugaboo of the week, and they expect everyone to just, fall into line. Well, and then a couple more reasons. Their intellectual dishonesty. I'm vegan, so what that means is I'm supposed to be, online with, on board with all these people, these social justice types, and I've got to say, I am not that kind of vegan. I may not eat animal products, but I don't identify with any of the current just intellectual crappiness, just, oh, well, it's okay to have specious arguments, to move the Overton window towards towards logical fallacies. They engage in nothing but logical fallacies. There's fake news. They just make up stuff as they go along. They basically have decided it's okay to hate Donald Trump because he's ugly, and yeah.
Well, I don't know if that's a good reason to hate anybody. It might be true, but well, hearing her talk, give her a walkaway story. It's pretty funny. But I wonder why I stopped here. I wonder how many people are walking away because of the media and them seeing the media and then going and researching and seeing how much they're off. Just like on Donald Trump's speeches, whether you like him or not, you can't go to CNN and know what he said because they just take little clippets, little excerpts of it and put it on CNN and run with it. And I hear people talking all the day, well, he said this and he said that. I'm like, well, you need to go watch the whole thing. I don't think it's exactly what you think's going on.
Yeah, he's ugly, but I'm personally neutral about Trump. I really don't care. I think, I'm just like, oh, well, he's fine. I really don't think about it that much, but because I'm vegan, I'm expected, oh yeah, you have to toe.
Because you don't have Trump derangement syndrome. Yeah, most of us don't think about him all day long.
The line you have to be with all of us on our anti-Trump derangement stuff. I don't care. I mean, he's you know what, he's Caesar. But they know nothing of history. At least they used to. But I feel like they would rather burn a statue down than learn that, oh, look, that was a statue of one of the original members of the Democratic Party, Andrew Jackson. Okay. Lastly, is their whole science thing. Okay. Their science is actually bogus. I've never, the scientific method is something I'd like to see survive the coming, collapse and the coming, dark age. I really would like to see the scientific method continue on, but they're not using it. I mean, they game results with COVID. They inflate things. They say that, gunshot victims died of it because they had it in their system. And that's just one example of many. I mean, even global warming, definitely there's global weirding, but as far as like actual warming in general, that's part of, it's not necessarily man-made, okay? Because we're currently...
Oh, she's bringing facts. Oh my God. The liberals' worst nightmare. No wonder she didn't fit in. When you think for yourself and do some research, you're not going to be able to exist in that collectivist idea of this utopian they're looking for.
Have been through a bunch of ice ages, and there's a lot of ebb and flow there. So, I mean, I believe that people are poisoning this earth and must stop, absolutely.
Don't disagree with
eating
that.
animals is actually a huge part of that, but believing in global warming and somehow by throwing money at something, by thinking that, oh, it's going to change because we increase taxes or we throw money at it, that isn't how it works. You really always.
No, very good point. It seems like their answer to everything is throw money at it. Raise taxes, and people fall for that crap. Look where the money's going. It ain't going to nothing to help nobody.
Always have to start with yourself. You have to be the change. That's what I absolutely believe more than ever now. So that's why I'm making this video, because I want to be the change.
Good.
And I want to encourage you, if you're if you're used to kind of being in this leftist crowd and you've had to say goodbye, at least temporarily, to a lot of your friends because they're going Looney Tune with this anti-Trump stuff and all the aforementioned points, then I hope I give you some courage, and I hope
Yes.
Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wait until after this election, and then once it's over, I'm going to see if there's any people that come back to their senses, because I think they will. I think they'll be like, oh wait, the election's over and the world didn't end,
rioting
and it's
in
fine,
the street.
and we're all going to be fine.
I want you to. I really like this lady here. She's smart. Make sure you go down to the description and look for 777 vegan. I'll put the link to this video, and it looks like, well, oh wow, she's blown up since I saw this the other day. She's got a lot of views, but go give her some encouragement. Leave her a comment. Um, it's brave for all of these people to do, and it sounds like a couple of them are still a little torn on their ideals, but that's good. That's the whole thing about walkaway, is you're getting out of that collectivist mentality where you can think for yourself. And on the right, shit, we never agree with each other on all kinds of stuff. Trying to get right wing people together is like herding cats, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, because you can dance around with all these different ideas and see what works for you and see what doesn't work for you. So, and I'm saying right wing, not Republican, because there's so many left wing Republicans that are in politics, and it's hard to put them in with the rest of us. So I'm going to stop with Kimberly Still here, and let me get to my next person. Let's see who it is here, and let me see. Oh, this guy, I don't know. Let's see how much he's got going on here. I don't know how many people's watched his. He's only got 50 views, and I feel sorry for this kid. He's 15 years old, I think, and he's acting like his discovery of what's going on is a really bad thing, and he seems kind of scared and nervous. And keep this in mind, this is a young kid, so you can go to Big Bad Wolf, and I'll have the link down in the description. Give him some encouragement, because he needs it, because he's kind of freaking out. And I don't mean to laugh at you, Big Bad Wolf. Everything will be okay. The things that you're thinking and feeling, you're not alone. A lot of people are doing research like you've done, and seeing what's going on. So let's go ahead and let him talk, and let's make sure to realize his age.
Y'all are so stupid.
Oh, I got the wrong thing on. Let me. I told you I was still trying to figure this out. Oh, all right, here we go. Big Bad Wolf, his walk away. And I don't know, he's not old enough to vote yet, but he's going to be able to go into his adulthood thinking for himself.
With one man, this happening to one man caused the whole world to go crazy. And your mind probably would be like changed all the way around. Now it's like, 1 o'clock in the morning, everybody is asleep, probably gonna think I'm crazy. But it's true, and I think people are just like really brainwashed nowadays into thinking this stuff. Like, why do I gotta see these people who really don't care about black people just destroying businesses and stuff like that, ruining everything?
Can you imagine being young? And I started in the middle of this. I'm gonna go back to the beginning. And but hearing that, can you imagine being young and seeing all this crap on TV? When I was a kid and seeing destruction on TV, it was overseas. There were a lot going on in the 80s and a lot with the Soviet Union. And I remember seeing a lot of destruction, but wasn't here. Let me go back to the beginning. I started in the middle of that, but I'm glad I did because, I got to see where he thinks people are being brainwashed, and he's not wrong.
Y'all are so stupid.
Now he's freaking out a little bit. He's young, and
Y'all really want to sit there and support this movement. Why do I keep feeling like I'm crying, but there's no tears coming to my eyes?
Let's skip through
Seriously,
this a little bit.
going over, posting these black pictures just because it makes you feel better, and doing this white guilt stuff, like, that hurts me. That honestly hurts me because I'm not fully white. I'm part Cuban, so just to let y'all know. But this fuck white people, only black lives matter. It's so stupid, and I'm so sick of seeing people so blindlessly. Y'all don't know what Black Lives Matter is doing to people.
Yeah, he must have done some research, and also coming up as a kid now, as a, you're getting demonized for just being born a certain skin color. Looks like we're moving in reverse here, and it's got to scare young kids. I think.
These Democrats are literally ruining America. And I'm 15, I'm bisexual, I'm a furry. I used to be a damn liberal because
I don't know what a furry is, but one thing I wanted to put his on here because it's I try to get everybody that's a little different, from each other, not different, but different from each other. So you see all walks of life are deciding to walk away.
I was sitting there being brainwashed by my grandma about what it meant. And no, it doesn't help. No, it doesn't help black people. I'm so scared to post this on my YouTube channel because it's so little and I'm worried I'm gonna get hate from it. So yeah, I'm walking away. I'm 15, I'm walking away. I used to think I'm a liberal. But then I woke up one day and I surrendered myself to God and just, I don't even want to explain the whole damn story.
So why are we living in a time where this kid can feel okay to say he's bi, which he should be able to. It's a little young to, I don't know. I don't know. I want to get into all of that. Um, you know, but he is scared to death to say that he's not a Democrat. I mean, why should you be scared to say that? What's going on in his life that he's scared to say that he's not a Democrat, that he's found God and he's a conservative? Right on his description, it says, I'm bi and conservative. And I'm not going to get deep into this because, this boy is really struggling with this, and he shouldn't be. Like, you're thinking for yourself that should be good. People shouldn't be condemning that. But PC culture, cancel culture, hate on anybody that's not a collectivist Marxist. So make sure you go down to Big Bad Wolf in the description and, leave him a comment and let him know he's not alone. Because I think he feels alone, and it's just crazy to me to think that people are that scared to say they're a conservative. I don't understand it. I really don't. What's going on in these kids' lives that there's just too much liberalism in their life, and you have to have different perspectives. I want to hear a liberal perspective because a lot of liberals and me agree with a lot of problems going on. It's just how to fix those problems is where we disagree. But since we see the same problems, I don't know why so much hate has come and we can't sit down and talk about stuff. I just don't understand that. Let me get me the next one, and I'm gonna pop her up. And this is Samantha. And her walkaway story has 2 parts. It's really long. I'm not going to play everything, but I'm going to get her on here and let her talk. And let me get that young man off and make sure you go visit his page and tell him he's not alone. And let's see here. Interact. Let me start over, and I might skim through this because she spends a lot of time talking about it. And if you want to see all of her conversation, like everybody else, I have Samantha's link in the description, and you could go watch all of it.
Hey, I don't know how many more times I'm gonna restart this video. This is my 3rd time restarting, actually. I almost got through the whole thing. I was like, I don't like that. But, this is my walkaway story, and I was thinking of doing a video for a couple days now, but for the past few weeks I've been doing more research and watching a lot, like dozens of walkaway stories on YouTube, and they're very inspiring. These people are incredibly nice, and
that's why I want to do this video. Hopefully it catches on and a lot of people watch it, and they're not scared to start thinking for themselves. I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that's done research on their own and are realizing the road we're going down. And they're probably just scared, like this young boy here. And I know he's not a part of the voting crowd at this point, but man, people shouldn't be so worried to think for themselves. This is insane.
I'm glad to be a part of this now. I'm not just doing this for myself. I'm doing it also because I feel like it needs to be said. There needs to be more experiences and views in there. Not just views, but different people from different backgrounds and stuff like that. with different views. But I was wondering, is it too late to make this? But there's been people that have been walking away since the 80s, and people are still making videos. I've been seeing a couple new videos every time I go to watch a new one. I'm just like, oh, there's a new one, I gotta watch it. And all of them are amazing. All of them are so educated, so
and that's somebody's gonna watch your video, and it's gonna be the same thing. They're gonna be like, oh, I'm inspired to think for myself and not be scared because people like you and the people you've watched are doing it. We need to stop being silent.
well spoken. So no, it's not too late for me to walk away. It's not too late for anybody else to walk away. But before I get into my whole walk away experiences, I'm going to share some background information about myself with everybody. So, my name is Samantha, and I'm a 25.
And I'm gonna let her discuss that and move on to what I got two left. And I want her to give her background because all these people I'm showing have so much different background, and obviously they're different from each other, and we got different ages, and it's just good to see so many people from such a diversity coming together, and they're leaving something that they were forced to believe that that's where they belong. And no, you can think for yourself, and you are welcome here on the right. We don't care who you are or what you're doing. Just don't be trying to tell everybody else how to live their lives. That's it. That's all we're doing. Live by the golden rule, and you're welcome. And the people that say you're not, they're not part of this movement. They can jump on the left because that's really what they are. They want to tell people how to live.
5-year-old Republican. It has taken a lot of thought and courage and acceptance to say that and come to terms with it, because the radical left would have you think otherwise. It would have you think I'm evil and bigoted. I like to think of myself as a good person. I help others. I like to do what's right. I like to think I have my morals in check. And I am reading it off of a Word document that I wrote up, so I have something to go off of. But I'm white. The left would tell you otherwise. However, I'm also Native American. And another thing about me is I'm bisexual. And I believe in equality of all forms. Yet I'm a Republican. I'm not a traitor, or a colonizer, or a racist, Nazi, white supremacist.
That's right.
I'm here to tell you.
Plus, Nazis are left wing. We gotta stop letting them call us Nazis, because they're the Nazi, not us.
How the left has lied to me, duped me, used me, and threw me away, and I will have some more personal experiences in here. I grew up in a conservative home, but none of these ideas were pushed onto me. I was never taught that I was unable to do the same things as a man. I was never belittled for my sexuality by my parents after I came out to them. I was always encouraged to think for myself and form my own opinion.
Yeah, and so many people like her are probably told that conservatives are going to hate you and don't go around them. And here's her parents, conservative, accepting her for who she is, and that probably helped with her walk away story here. Just going back to her conservative roots.
Opinion, and this was all taught to me since I was a kid. I was disciplined, given groundings and timeouts, and I had to earn my weekly allowance. And
Good
as
parents.
well as my weekly allowance, if I earned that, like by doing homework and my chores and just generally behaving, doing all that, I could also have a sleepover with a friend. I was taught to work for what I want. Hard work always pays off. I always held conservative economic beliefs.
Me too.
That really did not change throughout my childhood and as an adult. I became a Democrat when I got into politics around 2013 to 2014. I hated a lot of things and people. I hated Trump, I hated whites, and I hated America. I mean, I hated more things and people than that, but the point is, I didn't know why I hated any of that stuff. I didn't know why I hated any of those people. I had no good reason to. I really just believed what the left told me to think. I supported what they told me to support. I didn't have any second thoughts or ask any questions as to why I should believe and support all of this stuff and hate all of these things and these people. And I did that because I didn't want to be seen or labeled as a racist or a bigot. And it felt like it was the right thing to do to me. The left told me that if I came out to Republicans or shared my views with them, that I would be attacked. This is one of the reasons why it took me so long to come out to my parents. I would say that my journey of discovering and accepting my sexuality was primarily hindered by the radical left part of the LGBT community, as well as some Democratic friends that were also LGBT.
So she's claiming her coming out as a bi, she didn't want to do because of the liberals, the left wing. They had told her that conservatives are going to hate her, so she's scared to death.
I didn't believe that non-LGBT people were wrong or evil, just the right-leaning non-LGBT people. I believe that the left-leaning non-LGBT people were on my side and would fight for rights and acceptance. But they've given LGBT people every single reason to walk away from them. They think that if you're straight or cisgender, you're a bad person automatically without even getting to know you. They base nothing on morals and everything on traits. Their push for more than two genders has made the transgender community look insane. The media focuses on trans people.
Yes, it has. XX, XY. It's science. You're not going to get rid of science.
Trans people that are not actually trans. They focus on the genderqueer, typical green-haired person that tries to prove how weird and quirky they are, and that is not realistic. That's not realistic. That's not how transgender people are. I had transgender friends. I have transgender friends. I know transgender people. I've talked to plenty of them. They're real. They're valid. They're just like you and I. They just have a medical condition, but that's not a bad thing. Being transgender is not a bad thing.
I don't know personally. I know of, but I don't know any transgender people personally, so I don't want to speak on that. And I'm probably going to not cut her off there, but go on to I have two more left, and I want you to go listen to her story though, because it's a very very long one and an impactful one. And if you know anybody like her, send her to her link, and you guys should go and leave a comment too. Her views have gone up too. I guess anything when you put hashtag walk away, you're going to get some views here. But she still could use some encouragement. I think every one of these people, I'm going to have everybody's video in the link, and I encourage everybody to go and leave a positive comment. So, and I'm trying to get used to looking at the camera here, and I'm probably not doing a very good job, but bear with me here. Now let's get the next one here, and I'm gonna let him talk for a little while, and then my last one I'm gonna let talk. And let me get pop this up, and this is his page is called Liberty Revolt. So he went all the way Liberty, huh? If you got a name like that, Liberty Revolt. And I'll have his link in the description as well. Let me go ahead and let's put this here. Get him started. This is a pretty long one too, so I'm not going to go all the way into the whole thing. I know I played others maybe a little longer than others, but we're winding down here, and this guy he doesn't have a lot of views and not a lot of comments yet either. So let's go give him some encouragement. Subscribe to his channel and hear what he has to say, because evidently for a lot of people this has been a almost traumatizing thing to come out and be an individual, be who you want to be, not what the collectivist leftism says you have to be. So let's go ahead and get Liberty Revolt started.
Hello, my name is Dylan, and this is my walkaway story. So I didn't really get interested in politics until probably the end of my senior year in high school, and even then it was just a little bit. It was mostly just listening to Rage Against the Machine and System of a Down, and
the
premise was George Bush bad, right? Well, as I got out of high school, I was smoking a lot of pot, I was playing in some bands, I had a few girlfriends. I remember distinctly one of my...
George Bush is bad, and if we have any Republicans here that are going to be mad at me for saying that, I don't care. Him and his father were deep state GOP neocons, and those type have to go. We're tired of that. They've sold out our country, them and the Democrats, and it's time to have our own walkaway stories. And I'm glad to see the transition of the right moving into a different state than that neocon globalist mindset.
My girlfriend's parents, they were very, very liberal, and they used to talk a lot of trash about Republicans, and I thought they were cool, and I thought they were pretty smart, so I kind of went along with it, and I kind of absorbed some of that. I voted for Obama his first time around because I thought it was exciting to vote for the first black president.
A lot of people.
And, I remember overhearing some of his speeches. He spoke really eloquently.
I thought he did too. And he talked a lot about change. He ran on change. And, for those who didn't like George Bush, didn't like his father, didn't like the Congress through all that time on both sides, it's
and he said some things that seemed really, really nice. He said, this country can be home for Muslims too, and I agreed with that, and I still agree with that. I didn't vote for Obama the second time around just because I started to feel like I didn't know enough about the policy issues.
Well, I'm not trying to come on let him go on, but I think after that 4 years, we saw there was no change, just more war. Actually, even more war than there was before. It seemed like we were kind of coming out of Iraq there the last 2 years of Bush, but man, Obama, he came in like he lit the world on fire. I mean, he was bombing everybody. Of course, the media wasn't talking about that. He's destroyed Libya, and that's the biggest slave trade in the world right now. Try to take down Syria, and I think that was a big problem with the deep state, because when Trump decided to stop funding the rebels from dethroning Assad, they was after him then, because that gets in the way of the globalist movement that's going on, and Syria is the next target. So, and those 4 years and the 8 years of Obama was just bombing the hell out of a bunch of poor countries and creating more animosity for our country, while he was given, and the media gives illusion that the world loved him and loved us when he was in charge.
To be voting on them, because I didn't want to vote for something that would be counterproductive, because I was voting from a place of ignorance.
Yeah.
In 2013-14, I created a Facebook, and a lot of my friends were, in musicians. They were in the music scene, and most of them were all left leaning. I don't think I knew any Republicans. So I started following pages like Now This and Vox and Huffington Post and maybe The Guardian and Bernie Sanders, MSNBC, CNN, and they all basically said the same thing.
They all lied.
Republicans, racist, warmongers who don't care about the poor, and Democrats did care about the poor and did care about minorities and world peace and everything.
No.
Well, I wanted to vote for Bernie Sanders in 2016, and when he got cheated out of the election, I remember being very, very angry.
That's true.
And I remember once trying to have a conversation with my grandpa about politics, and I told him that I was a socialist, and he got a little bit of offended and tried to tell me I don't.
If my grandson comes to me and says that, I'm probably going to smack him upside his head. My son already knows better than to say some shit like that. Boy, we are capitalists in this house forever.
I don't think you know what socialism is. And I was like, of course I do. Socialism just means that we as a society take care of each other, and that we stick up to the greedy rich, and we make sure that we take care of the poor, and it's the government giving you nice things. And
give you some bread.
He tried to point out to me that socialism has been tried all over, and it's failed because it doesn't take into account human nature, and that people aren't going to work if the fruits of their labor is just going to be taken from them and given to somebody else.
Got to have incentives.
And people are just going to try to live off the government, and I don't remember exactly what I said because I wasn't really listening.
How many times have an elder, especially a grandparent or somebody older, sat us down and talked to us, and we're like, they don't know what they're talking about. We don't listen to them, and then years later, you're thinking, or it comes back in your memory, and you're like, oh, that old fogey didn't know what they was talking about.
All I thought was, these old people are so ignorant, they don't understand. Their ignorance is so bad that it makes them bad people. And I remember getting so angry and storming out, and I remember just feeling gross, feeling ugly, feeling bitter. And when Donald Trump won, I wasn't a Trump supporter, but I felt a secret enjoyment out of it, seeing Hillary Clinton lose, because I felt like the Democrats were just so corrupt and they had just cheated. And, you know, I got a job as a touring drummer, and I was traveling around the country, and I was sitting in a
How many of you Bernie supporters out there was secretly rooting for Donald Trump? I doubt there's many. I think this kid's one of the few. I could be wrong. But I think he's one of the few.
van for about 8 to 14 hours a day, several days a week. So I started listening to conservative thinkers because I wanted to know. I saw everyone freaking out about Donald Trump, and I wanted to know what was so bad. And I started looking at some of the policies, and a lot of them kind of made sense to me. We need operational control of our border, not because.
Now, I'm going to stop him there because he goes on into policy and talking about a lot of stuff. And you could go watch him at Liberty Revolt. My Lord, he's only got 6 subscribers. You go to his page and subscribe and watch this video and leave him a comment. This sounds like a pretty bright kid that just was led astray. And as he's done research, here comes the walk away. When the facts come out, people leave the Democrat Party. I'm struggling here with my cord. Give me 1 second. All right. I should cut this and edit it. Okay, I got it. All right. Rookie here. Oh, my hair's a mess. I'm a mess. I'm not for sure I have a voice for radio or the face for TV, either one, but here I am. So I'm going to knock Liberty Revolt off, and like I've said many times, his link will be in the description. And go subscribe to all these people and leave them a comment, especially the ones that haven't got a lot of views yet. Let's get them to blow up here, and more people can go and see people like them and realize that they are on the bad side, the dark side. That's really what it is. Big government is always the dark side. Big government never works. It doesn't. People are starting to realize that, or at least realizing how crooked the Democrat Party is. Now, this last one here, let's figure out his name. He is Antonio Marco, and I'm not for sure Antonio's nationality, but he is a Hispanic fella, and he seems pretty aggravated. It's a different perspective here. This is he talks a lot about celebrities and black celebrities especially, and one reason why I want to show this video is just to show the animosity that's being created, because this guy's has some animosity here, and this is part of why he's walking away. But I think the media, especially, just is creating this animosity between people from other cultures, and so that's one reason why I want to put him on here, just to see what I think the media is doing to us. And people like him are tired of it, and they're tired of people with victim mentality. Now, he talks solely, I believe, about black people, but it ain't just black people with this victim mentality. It's white people. It's all types of people. And then you have the white liberal white knights, and it's just I hate to see so much divide. Growing up in the 80s and 90s, man, we didn't see that. And you can go, there was no PC crap. There are certain things you can't say. You tell the 90s, and it was pretty much a free for all. But man, nobody cared about your feelings. Get over it. We're gonna make fun of you. You make fun of us, and it is what it is, you know. And there wasn't so many people trying to play the mind police and being Nazis while calling the people who believe in free speech Nazis. It's just funny that, 20, 30 years later, this is the road we've gone to. Now I'm going to go ahead and play this gentleman, Antonio Marco. And Antonio, he's a little pissed off. I think he's tired of some things. But, when you're watching the TV, I can see where these guys are coming from. I mean, just the animosity being created. Let's go ahead and get him started. This is the last one.
It's very funny to see these black celebrities complaining about racism, or talking about being held back, and how oppressed they are. They're millionaires. Beyonce, Jay-Z, Ice Cube, Snoop Dogg, they're black. Nobody's stopping from making millions of dollars. In fact, LeBron James also. A black dude making millions and millions and millions of dollars. Also complaining about what, dude? What are you guys complaining about? One thing I like my people, my Latino people, we came here to bust our ass and work hard. To try to make a living, and without complaining about the system.
And a lot of people don't, because when you come from these other countries, especially third world countries, and you see what real poverty is, you see what real oppression is. It's hard to come here and hear a lot of this stuff, because we just got first world problems here, man. We ain't got third world problems. We got first world problems, and that's a fact. And third world people come here and think we're crazy. They're right a little bit. They're right a lot.
Without speaking English, we came here, and all we wanted to do was work. You want to talk operation? You don't even know what our Latino people go through every single day. Who the hell do you think is picking up your fruits and vegetables? Not blacks. Latinos. Not even for minimum wage.
Not white knight liberals either. If you care, go go pick some vegetables. But you don't. You're just going to hire a Hispanic person to do it for you, and call poor white people racist, and try to make everybody think that's what's holding people back, is all the Trump supporters.
You want to talk about oppression? I think my Latino people working on the fields since longest time, those are the modern slaves. Yet they're not complaining. You know why? Because they're hardworking people.
I do not think they're modern slaves. I do hear what he's trying to say here, though, but I think he even goes into saying they make under minimum wage. You might be talking about uh, immigrants that aren't valid, and you could debate whether that's right or wrong, but a slave is somebody that's forced to do something, and I feel like they come here because they're making more money here doing this than what they can. So, I'm not going to argue in the right or wrong of it, but I think slave is pushing it a little bit. But I'm gonna let him talk, and he's making very valid point though.
I don't like some Beyonce just shaking her booty, making millions of dollars. I'm a talented person. If you think about it, there's a lot of black people that have made it big time in Hollywood, in sports, in every aspect of life you can think of. In politics, come on, there's a lot of them in politics. If whites were racist, they wouldn't even be there. Stop complaining and start working. And if you really care about blacks, I think every black should matter, especially our kids in our schools. They're not afraid to walk down their own street, being afraid of their own people. But I don't see you doing anything about it.
Where is BLM when stuff's really going down? It's got to be a white cop killing a black man, and they swoop in, get that fundraiser money, and then tear some shit up and get on out.
Complaining from your big house and your mansion, surrounded by servants. Come on, wake up. I used to be a Democrat, or believed to be a Democrat. I switched parties big time since Obama betrayed my people. Betrayed my people.
I want to pause this. This is an interesting perspective right here, man. He seems to be uh, knows a lot about this and not too happy. So it's interesting to see what all's caused people's walk away, and I think this is a big part of it right here.
People. He promised something he didn't deliver. He actually deported a lot more Latinos than any other president in history. And then Benghazi happened. And then the Fast and Furious program, which they gave firearms to the cartels in Mexico, that resulted in thousands of innocent lives. Yet, he didn't even apologize for that. Obama made me change to the Republican Party. He was a traitor to my people, and I will never forgive him for that. Never.
Now that's the end of Antonio Marco here. That's the end of his video, and I will say, Antonio, I love your Johnny Cash shirt. That's awesome. But I try to find all these different people that come from different walks of life and let them give their story, and let's go. I've said this many times here in this video, but let's go and give them a sub and give them a like, watch some videos, and leave some comments, and tell them that uh, they're they're not alone. They're not alone out here, and people like them is going to allow other people to see that you can do this and not have to worry about all the backlash, because a lot of us will have your back, and we have to stop with this PC culture and this cancel culture crap, and people losing jobs because they say something years ago, even if they say it yesterday. Get over it. Get over it, man. Everybody on earth is a bigot and has prejudices, and you want to have to pay for every one of your bigoted thoughts and prejudices? No, you don't. So we need to back off. As long as nobody's hurting anybody, we gotta stop playing the mind police. But I don't know if I'll do another walkaway video again. If I see some good ones, I might do some a little shorter. I just wanted to get these people out here, and hopefully we can give them some support. I know I don't have anybody on my page yet, but I'm planning on spreading this around, and hopefully we can get some views. And as we go on, it'll be a lot more talking about world issues and stuff in the news. I know pretty soon we're going to come out with a video talking about Black Lives Matter and what the organization's about, and discuss some other things. So and don't be too rough on me. I'm new at this. Like I said, I don't have a face for TV or a voice for radio, but it's time we start speaking up, or we're going to lose everything. We're going to lose everything. We're going to lose capitalism. We're going to lose our ability to think for ourselves. And man, it seems like we're on the brink. We're on the brink. So we'll get on here. We'll talk about some good stuff. We're going to expose Joe Biden. We're going to expose BLM. We're going to expose the deep state, whether you're a GOP or DNC. We're coming after you. We're coming after you, and either do your job or get out of office. And for all you white knights out there, you are not saviors. Black people aren't stupid. Hispanic people aren't stupid. Poor whites, we don't need your help. Get over yourself and take care of your own households. And that's why these people are walking away. And believe that silent majority is real, and we're going to stop being silent. And I'm going to end it right there. If I was lucky enough to keep your attention through all this, I would appreciate subscribe. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment, share it with other people, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.